Introduction to Lord Mahavir. The last Tirthankara, Mahavira, was a historical personality. He was born in 599 BC at Kshatriya Kund in the Democratic Republic of Vaishali, the son of King Siddhartha and Queen Krishna Devi. His original name was Vardhaman. From his childhood, he was soft and kind-hearted. He was very upset by the ritual sacrifice of animals. For the next 30 years, Mahavira spread the message of ahimsa, truth, non-stealing, right conduct and non-possession. He campaigned against the barriers of caste, creed and faith. He also advocated
attention on their activities, but also to encourage others to take up community and social services as a worthwhile exercise. Hence, he set up the Bhagwan Mahavir Foundation and the institutions for their selfless service to the needy sections of the community that met exacting standards of evaluation prescribed by the foundation. There are 4 annual awards for excellence in human endeavor in the fields of non-violence and vegetarianism, education, medicine, community and social service. Nationals and institutions.
Trustee Shri N. Subalchan Jain. The other trustees are Shri Gunvat Nagardas Damani, Shri Prasanjan Jain, Shri Vinod Kumar, Shri Pramod Jain, Shri P.V. Krishnamurthy IAS retired is a honorary executive trustee. Every year, the awards are presented in a special function organized by the foundation. The consecutive 13 Mahavir Awards are put in the slideshow. Dr. G. Venkateswamy, excellence in the human endeavor in the fields of education and medicine. Bhagavan Mahavir Vaiknan, excellence in the fields of community and social service. Dr. Kalyan Motilal Gangwal Pune, excellence in the fields of propagation of non-violence and vegetarianism. It is given to Chennai Cancer Institute, excellence in the fields of education and medicine. The 6th Mahavir Awards given to Srimati Anurupa Mukherjee, excellence in the fields of social and community service. 7th Mahavir Awards given to Dr. Nemijan Jain Indore, excellence in the fields of non-violence and vegetarianism. The recipient is Dr. H. Sudarshan, Vivekananda Girijana Kalyana Kendra, excellent in the fields of education and medicine. Bharat Sevashram Sangha, Jharkhand, excellent in the fields of community and social service. 8 Mahavir Awards received by Vivekananda Rock Memorial and Vivekananda Kendra Kanyakumari, excellent in the fields of education and medicine. Recipient is Marudha Mahila Shikshan, excellent in the fields of education and medicine. Received by Dr. S.B. Adi Narayana Rao, Prema Hospital, Andhra Pradesh, excellent in the field of community and social service. The recipient is Sri Siddharth Datta, Rajasthan, excellent in the fields of non-violence and vegetarianism. The recipient is Uttarakhand Sevanidhi Paryavaran Shiksha Sansthan, excellent in the fields of education and medicine. The recipient is Swami Vivekananda Youth Movement, Saragur, Karnataka, excellent in the field of education and medicine. 10th Mahavir Awards received by a couple, Dr. Sharad Kumar Dikshit, Dr. Sharad Kumar Dikshit Charitable Trust, Pune, excellent in the fields of education and medicine. Received by Dr. S.S. Badrinath, Chairman Shankar Netralaya, Chennai, excellent in the field of education and medicine. Received by Shri Rasmal S. Jain village Bilaspur, Rajasthan, excel in the field of community and social service. 11 Mahavir Awards received by Shri Bharat Amritlal Kotari Rajpur, excellence in the field of non-violence and vegetarianism. Received by Dr. Shiv Kumar Saran, New Delhi, excellence in the field of education and medicine. Received by Acharya Dr. Kishore Kunal Patna, excellence in the fields of community and social service. 12 Mahavir Awards received by APOWA, Action for Protection of Wild Animals Orissa, given for excellence in the field of non-violence and vegetarianism. Received by Shri Gurubai Meka, President of Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Medical Sciences, excellence in the field of education and medicine. Received by Shri Shankara Raman, Honorary Secretary, Amar Seva Sangam, Ayakudi, excellence in the field of community and social service. 13th Mahavir Awards received by Dr. Ekapal, Dr. Regi M. George and Dr. Lalita Regi, founders, Tribal Health Initiative Dharmapuri, excellence in the field of education and medicine. Received by Shri M.C. Bandari and Srimad Prasanna Bandari, founders, Shri Kavli Nagar Vikas Samiti, Rajasthan, given for excellence in the field of community and social service. Received by Swami Sri Javananandji, founder, Swami Vivekananda Integrated Rural Health Center, given for excellence in the field of community and social service. 14 Mahavir Awards will be given by the Chief Guest, His Excellency Shri M.K. Narayanan, Governor West Bengal. Thank you.
K. Narayan, Governor of West Bengal, to the dais. I now request Mr. P.V. Krishnamurthy sir to guide Justice Shri Venkatacharya to the dais, and I now request the trust members to guide all the dignitaries to the dais, please.
With an invitation by Mrs. Nirmala Prasanjan Jain, Mrs. Kiran Dilip Kumar and Mrs. Kalavati Vinod Kumar. Please rise from your seat. Welcome His Excellency Shri M.K. Narayanan, Governor of West Bengal, with a garland. Now I request Shri Praveen P. Chadda to honor him with a shawl. Thank you. Thank you. Now I request Shri Keval Chandji Sancheti to welcome Professor M.S. Swaminathan, Chairman M.S. Swaminathan Research Foundation, Chennai, with a garland. I request Dr. Prakasam, Principal, Ganatipati Jain Engineering College, Vellore, to honor him with a shawl. Now I request Sri Narendra Bhai C. Meher to welcome Sri T.S. Krishnamurthy, retired Chief Commissioner of India, with a garland. I request Sri Ramesh Babu, Senior Vice President, Sugal Group, to honor him with a shawl. Now I request Shri N. Sugal Chandji, Managing Trustee of Bhagavan Mahavir Foundation, to present the welcome address.
Good evening to all of you. Your Excellency, Sri Narayanan, Governor of West Bengal, respected Sri M.N. Venkatchalaya, Chairman of Selection Jury, Bhagavan Mahavir Foundation, respected members of the selection jury, Sri M.S. Swaminathan, Member of Parliament, Rajya Sabha, and Chairman M.S. Swaminathan Research Foundation, Sri T.S. Krishnamurthy, former Chief Election Commissioner of India, trustees of the foundation, friends, dignitaries, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. I am indeed extremely pleased in welcoming every one of you to this evening's award distribution function. At the outset, it is our bounden duty to express heartfelt gratitude to Sri Narayanan, His Excellency the Governor of West Bengal, for having kindly consented to be with us here this evening to give away the current awards. Friends, it is nice of Excellency that he has come to Chennai only for this function. So I welcome you members of the audience also. As all of you know, today is a sort of homecoming for Sri Narayanan. Though born elsewhere, he had almost all his education in Tamil Nadu and also belongs to the IPS cadre of Tamil Nadu. I am sure he has pleasant memories of Tamil Nadu and particularly of this town. Sri Vinod Kumar will later, in the course of this function, tell you more about his credential to be considered as a devoted servant of the country. We have with us Justice Sri M.N. Venkatchalaya, Chairman of Selection Jury, Bhagavan Mahavir Foundation, Professor M.S. Swaminathan, Sri T.S. Krishnamurthy, members of the Selection Jury, those of us who are regular readers of newspapers would have seen that there is not a single day on which the names of these eminent people do not appear as active participants in some public function or other. Notwithstanding their active role in the affairs of many public institutions, it is extremely kind of them to have associated with the Bhagavan Mahavir Foundation in carrying out a time-consuming and stressful job of evaluation and then finalizing the awards. We welcome you, sirs, in our midst this evening. Though most of you may be aware of the Bhagavan Mahavir Foundation's activities, let me briefly outline them. The awards have been created for identifying and nurturing excellence in human endeavor in various walks of life, such as non-violence and vegetarianism, education and medicine, and community and social service. Till now, there were 3 awards, each carrying a cash component of rupees 5 lakhs. The foundation has so far given away 35 awards spread out over 13 states of the country. We have been receiving a huge response, some of the nominees extending invaluable service for the cause of the poor. The members of the jury, more often than not, had difficulty in selecting the final awardees. Encouraged by the increasing numbers of nominations, it has been decided to increase from the current year onwards the number of awards from 3 to 4. Bifurcating the awards for education and medicine into 2 separate ones, one each for medicine and education. Further, the foundation has doubled the cash component from rupees 5 to rupees 10 lakhs. From this year, I am sure that both the members of the public and the awardees would hail this gesture of the foundation. The details of the current year's awards are available in the later part of this brochure, as well as in the citation to be read out a little later. I wish to place before you all that the selection is completely objective and has gained widespread credibility from all sections of the society. The nominations are sought from all over the country through information in the newspapers, national and regional, besides followed up through 10,000 letters addressed to eminent persons in public life, such as ministers, MPs, vice chancellors, senior civil servants, media, social workers, and industrialists, to cite a few. The selection jury has put in extraordinary efforts in meticulously selecting the awardees. The foundation places on record its sincere thanks and warmest regards to the chairman of the selection jury, Justice Sri M.N. Venkatachalaya, former Chief Justice of India, and the other members of the selection jury, namely Sri Deepchand Gardi Baratla, Pujya Acharya Sri Channaji Maharaj, an eminent sannyasini and a social reformer, Sri D.R. Mehta, ex-chairman Securities Exchange Board of India, Professor B.M. Hegde, chairman Bharati Vidya Bhavan Mangalore Kendra, Mangalore, Professor M.S. Swaminathan, MP and Chairman M.S. Swaminathan Research Foundation, Chennai, Sri T.S. Krishnamurthy, Chief Election Commissioner of India, retired, and Sri S. Gurumurthy, an eminent chartered accountant from Chennai. It is also heartwarming to notice that all the members of my family, particularly of the younger generation, have extended a very warm support to the project, and I think that they are just waiting to play a more active role in this regard. To begin with, younger Pramod has joined as a trustee this year. The keen interest bestowed by the sponsors in identifying the possible awardees has indeed enriched the foundation's work. Equally, we are grateful to the nominees whose selfless work makes the efforts of the foundation worthwhile and meaningful. The unimaginable difficult conditions under which the nominees carry out their self-imposed task without any expectation whatsoever make us truly humble. We are sure that the number of awards presented and the quantum of reward sums distributed may at best continue a few drops before the ocean of stupendous works being put in by thousands of nominees spread all over the country. You would see from the brochure, which is being released shortly, that its front cover carries a photograph of Gandhi Mandapam at Chennai. Even though Gandhi did not belong to Jain community, he was in essence an embodiment of all the precepts laid down by Bhagwan Mahavir, especially relating to vegetarianism, non-violence and community service. The foundation has no hesitation at all in accepting Mahatma Ji as an icon of their philosophy. Many of the nominees who have come closer to being selected for the awards need not feel discouraged, because as I had pointed out earlier, their task is willingly chosen, selfless and without any expectation of a reward, which itself gives them immense satisfaction. However, the foundation would like to place on record our humble thanks to them on behalf of the entire community for the quality services being rendered by them. One of our staff, Sri M. Gopalakrishnan, who assisted the foundation in its formative stages, has passed away recently. The foundation conveys its heartfelt condolences to the members of the bereaved family. Once again, I extend a hearty welcome to the members of the public, my friends, colleagues, as also the members of the media. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank all the members of the foundation family who have put in a remarkable work in the entire process of evaluation. Our special thanks to the heads of the institution and the staff for their cooperation. Thank you. I welcome you all once again.
Thank you, sir, for your heartiest welcome and highlighting BMF activities. May I request Honorable Justice a Governor to receive the first copy. Thank you, sir. Now I request Honorable Justice M.N. Venkatachalaya to address the gathering.
Your Excellency, Sri M.K. Narayanan, Governor of West Bengal, Sri Dr. Professor Swaminathan, Sri T.S. Krishnamurthy, Sri Subhadeep Jain, Sri Krishnamurthy, very respected and distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen. We are most grateful to the Honorable Sri Narayanan for his gracious presence on this occasion. It has heightened the significance of this movement of Bhagwan Mahavir Foundation in honoring those who have served the country. I have participated in the process of selection. It's been a very elevating, at the same time humbling experience. We have scrutinized perhaps 3,000 to 4,000 nominations over these 10 years. And we have found this great celebration of spirit of service in this country. While we see a great contrast between some of the good social sector participants, some of them are extraordinary people, extraordinary institutions, and we contrast it with the performance of the public sector. And this contrast is baffling. A handful of people with very meager resources have gone out to have reached out to people and served them in a way which we cannot simply imagine how it would be done with a shoestring budget. In one instance, we found a doctor couple far away from the city and towns. It would take days of walking to reach their place of work, deep inside the forest. And with all this, we find that all the good work done by all good people, all these 60 years, has not been able to scratch the surface of our problem, nations, the staggering size of the social problems, issues of health, issues of well-being, education. And this is a very humbling experience to see that we, after 60 years, have not been able to fulfill the promise of our Constitution. Ladies and gentlemen, today the whole civilization is poised on a dangerous course. 10 years from now, the society that will emerge will have no resemblance to the one we live in today. Science and technology, in medicine, in physics, in mathematics, will carry us to a totally different ambience, totally different society. All civilizational crossover points in history have indicated that two factors have been common. One has been a demographic explosion combined with a new source of energy. We have witnessed this tremendous impact of the combination of these two. And today, we are likely to see some of the most difficult changes in human society. We are poised on a course which is very confusing. The contribution of the social sector has been so tremendous. At the same time, we have glamorous NGOs, more glamorous than servicing. We have grassroots NGOs. We have NGOs which are grass without roots. We have seen in the course of our scrutiny of these nominations what wonderful people have contributed to enrich our contemporary society. Long time ago, 2,500 years ago, a Greek philosopher said, as long as you study subjects, mathematics, physics, philosophy, biology, insularly, as separate, distinct, compartmentalized disciplines, you will add to knowledge. You will develop a sense of knowledge, but you will not build ability. When there is a convergence of these fields of learning, then the ability to bring about change occurs. They say that this convergence is the significant part of the immediate decade. Next decade in human history is the most stunning decade. You have the metaphor of the handheld cell phone, mobile phone, which tells you what's the magic of the convergence of various fields of knowledge. But mere growth of knowledge without a corresponding growth of wisdom will be dangerous, as we have already witnessed in the world. India is a great laboratory. We have 500 million children below the age of 14. It's a young nation. 53% of our population, they say, is below 25 years. And what kind of promise that we are going to give to them? They said, on the analogy of an experiment in physics, that if nuclear interaction reaches a critical mass, it unleashes a chain reaction. Similarly, some sociologists said there is a critical negative social mass. Say 30% of India's population, or population of any country, lose faith in the justice of their society, lose faith in the justice of their government. There is a negative social critical mass which unleashes a chain reaction, a reaction which is not a power of reconstruction, but it's a power of destruction. Some such thing we are witnessing in this country today. At an occasion like this, I must very gratefully recall the service of the Bhagwan Mahavir Foundation in lighting a lamp, in lighting a candle amidst this darkness. The process of selection has been so impressive, and I must say, for 10, 12 years I have been associated with it. I have been watching Sugal Chan very carefully from lawyers are very suspicious people, and not one occasion did Mr. Sugal Chand or any of the trustees even as remotely suggest what is their preference. They left it entirely to the jury, and I have chaired almost 15, 16 selections of vice chancellors. I was myself a chancellor of a university, and surprisingly, even in the academic field, there is so much of attempt to influence the selections. And I had occasion to incur the wrath of the government when once I said I refuse to consider this case because the type of pressure that the person tried to bring about are the members of the jury, members of the selection committee. Well, this is a remarkable instance, both in the philosophy of selection, in the great kind of values that these trustees have, and the purpose for which they have instituted the awards. In a non-trivial sense, they express the highest amount of patriotism and highest amount of concern for contemporary society. And it's been a very enriching experience for me. And my respected colleagues in the jury have similarly brought about an immense amount of compassion for society when they recognize these great institutions and personalities that have served society selflessly. It has been a very humbling and elevating experience to see the work of so many people, so many good people. They are relentlessly trying to change our life, change it for the better. Today's selections, you will see some of the most eminent people in their respective fields are being honored, and it's appropriate that the Honorable Governor of West Bengal himself is present here to honor them. This is, in a sense, a celebration of the spirit of the social sector. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, sir, for recognizing the efforts of service-minded people, and definitely your speech is a very inspiring one. Now I request Shri Vinod Kumar, Trustee, Bhagwan Mahavir Foundation, to introduce the chief guest.
Your Excellency, Honorable former Chief Justice of India, members of the selection jury, Professor M.S. Swaminathan, Sri T.S. Krishnamurthy, distinguished visitors, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a rare occasion when one gets the privilege of introducing an eminent person who has honored us by agreeing to be present here with us and present the awards to the awardees of the 14th Bhagwan Mahavir Awards. Details of the awards and awardees have already been provided by my father a short while earlier. Let me therefore confine myself to introducing the distinguished chief guest who is present here today. Born at New Delhi in 1934, after early education in Delhi and Simla, he moved to Chennai to pursue higher studies. An alumni of Loyola College, he secured a postgraduate degree in economics from the University of Madras. He then joined the Indian Police Service in 1955 and passed out as the best all-round officer of his batch. After a short stint in erstwhile state of Madras, he migrated back to Delhi in 1959 to the Intelligence Bureau. The rest of his valuable career was with the Government of India, mainly in its vital departments. In 1992, the same year in which he was conferred the country's prestigious Padma Shri Award. He is superannuated as the Director of the Intelligence Bureau. Post-retirement too, Sri Narayanji was closely connected with the nation's security-related matters. In 2005, he was appointed as the National Security Advisor to the Prime Minister of India. Further, he provided leadership in institutionalized security and strategic dialogues with so many foreign countries, including Brazil, Japan, Sri Lanka, Germany, Russia, United Kingdom, and the USA. On 24 January 2010, he took charge as the Governor of the state of West Bengal. Now the citations detailing the work and worth of the awardees will be read, and I request His Excellency to present the award to the awardees.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable information. Compassion is a treasured passion, should be the notion of every person. Bhagavan Mahavir Awards are presented to those selfless souls, the dedicated humanitarians whose sole aim is to serve the society. The awardees are honored with a citation, a check for ₹10 lakhs and a memento each. Mr. Pramod Jain, Mr. Pradeep, Mrs. Kalavati Vinokumar will read the citations. Now I request Mr. Pramod Jain to present the citation honoring Sri Dayananda Swami, Bangalore, Karnataka, for his commendable service to the new-timers.
Your Excellency, esteemed former Chief Justice of India and distinguished visitors, I have great pleasure on behalf of the Bhagwan Mahavir Foundation in reading the citation relating to the work done by Sri Dayanand Swamiji, on whom the Bhagwan Mahavir Foundation is conferring the 14th Mahavir Award. Sri Dayanand Swamiji, 50, an active campaigner for the cause of non-violence and vegetarianism over the past quarter century, despite getting initiated to preach Vasudharma tenets, driven by his concern for the mute animals, has started a movement in his native state of Karnataka to convert it into a violence-free one towards animals. He persuaded the Karnataka state government to replace the supply of eggs for school students with serving of milk and made it enact the Karnataka Prevention of Slaughter and Preservation of Cattle Bill 2010. Further, he established two movements for protection of animals called CPF, Cow Protection Force, and APF, Animal Protection Force, involving respectively all the vegetarians of all communities. Also, he successfully stopped the establishment of a mechanized slaughterhouse at Bangalore and closed the Al Kabir slaughterhouse at Hyderabad for about 18 months through his aggressive agitation. In his native and other neighboring states, he has rescued more than 1,000 cows and other animals. He halted animal sacrifice in many places in Karnataka, especially in temples. Further, he has led rallies and addressed many gatherings towards propagating vegetarianism. Swami Dayanand, who secured a diploma in electrical engineering and got trained in medicine of biochemistry, homeopathy, science and agriculture, is holding many vital positions, including that of the chairmanship of World Animal Welfare Board. This full-time crusader, hailing from a farmer's family, dreams to establish a cow protection force covering all villages. The Bhagwan Mahavir Foundation is privileged to confer the 14th Mahavir Award in the field of non-violence and vegetarianism on Sri Dayanand Swamiji in recognition of his yeoman service to the welfare and rights of the animals, fervently hoping that this would inspire many to follow his path.
जीने दो,
जियो
जीने दो,
जियो
जीने दो।
live and let live.
Thank you, sir. Those who serve God well serve His creatures.
Students and the general public with 7 powerful telescopes, 4 planetaria, 200 frames on science and astronomy, etc. at its disposal to organize exhibitions in schools to familiarize science and scientists. The society conducts correspondence courses on scientific subjects like astronomy, astrophysics, earthquake studies, Vedic maths, etc. Aid researches, publishes books and runs Vedshalas at Naranpura and science centers at Bhuj and Borivali. It further organizes seminars, workshops and has so far also conducted 4 international conferences. The society, which has so far produced 4 documentary films in 3 languages, has come out with the bi-monthly science magazines, namely Virat Surya and Fit Science. The society has arranged thousands of people to view many international astronomical happenings and has bagged many recognitions, including a National Award 2004. And also, it is recognized as a research organization by the Government of India. About 10 lakh people are estimated to be utilizing its services. The Bhagwan Mahavir Foundation is honored to confer the 14th Mahavir Award in the field of education on the Indian Planetary Society in due recognition of its services, hoping that it would inspire many others to emulate. Thank you.
Now I request His Excellency, Governor of West Bengal, Thank you, sir. Now I request Mrs. Kalavati Vinod Kumar to present the citation honoring Voluntary Health Services Chennai for their selfless service in the field of medicine.
Your Excellency, esteemed Chief Justice of India, distinguished visitors, the Voluntary Health Service have been confirmed the 14th Mahavir Award. I have great pleasure in reading the citation relating to the award. Voluntary Health Service, a non-profit charitable organization catering to the medical needs of the poor and middle-income groups of the community, was founded in 1958 by Dr. K. S. Sanjeevi, a doyen of the medical arena. Today it is a tertiary teaching 405-bed hospital with almost all the specialities and is being served by over 100 reputed doctors honorary. About 60% of the patients are treated free of cost, inclusive of diet and medicines. Since the past 4 decades, the hospital is conducting PG diploma courses in medical lab, technology, health and hospital administration, nutrition and hospital dietetics, and in nursing. VHS has established a care center for hemophilia jointly for the Later Society Madras chapter. As per its visionaries founders' foresight to cover a wider population living in the rural areas, VHS has spread its wing into outreach programs by opening mini centers. 14 such centers, each covering a population of 5,000 to 10,000 of VHS, is presently serving the villagers. Dr. Sanjeevi, who believed that nothing given free will be appreciated, has suggested levying of a small fee towards annual subscription paved the way for health insurance. With the Government of India and US agency, VHS is into AIDS prevention and control project. Since 2004, TAI, Tamil Nadu AIDS Initiative Project, funded by Bill and Melinda Gates, administrates through VHS the AIDS prevention program in 13 districts of Tamil Nadu. Under this project, the VHS Mac Institute manages 31 STI clinics. The VHS YRG Care Center with 24 bed treats HIV patients. Thank you.
Now I request His Excellency Governor of West Bengal to present the award to the voluntary health services. Thank you, sir. Now I request Mr. Pramod Jain to present the citation honoring Snehalaya Social Charitable Trust.
Children over a decade. Besides taking care of more than 300 such children, it has rescued 400 women and 28 minor girls from red light area and counseled about 500 families. It runs a children's hostel, primary and high school, a rehabilitation center for HIV/AIDS positive children and women, a vocational and an agro training center, and a cow shelter. The schools teach their children from KG to 12th standard with a strength of around 800, of which about 500 are coming from a little over a dozen surrounding villages. The trust takes tiny children aged between 3 and 6 so that it is easier to teach them the responsibility and moral values. In fact, Snehalaya has seen these children grow up, maturing to pull up their mothers out of prostitution, besides teaching them about good hygiene, ill effects of smoking and consumption of alcohol, etc. Some have recently completed their masters and business degrees. Ummeed, its sister institution, rehabilitates and extends medical support to HIV positive women and children. The trust has bagged more than 50 awards, including the coveted National Honor in 2006, state government and many NGOs recognitions. The Bhagwan Mahavir Foundation proudly confers the 14th Mahavir Award in the field of community and social service to honor Snehalaya Social Charitable Trust in fitting recognition of its pioneering service, envisaging that it would inspire others to emulate the organization.
Now, thank you, sir.
Sri M.N. Venkatachalaya, Chairman of the jury of awards, Professor M.S. Swaminathan, Mr. T.S. Krishnamurthy, members of the selection jury, trustees of the foundation, Managing Trustee, Mr. Sugal Chand Jain, Sri Prasann Chand Jain, Sri Vinod Kumar, and Executive Trustee, Sri P.V. Krishnamurthy, and this very distinguished audience. I am extremely happy to be here this evening to give away the 14th Bhagwan Mahavira Award, sponsored by the Bhagwan Mahavira Foundation. As Mr. Sugal Chand Jain said, Madras or Chennai is my home, and any opportunity to visit Madras is always welcome. But given an occasion like this, I think the attraction becomes irresistible. Having lived in Chennai for a number of years, one is familiar with the philanthropic activities of the Bhagwan Mahavira Foundation and the human service it renders to society. Reading the brochure of the foundation has, however, made it much clearer to me as to what all the foundation does. It is indeed a lofty objective to identify, encourage, and nurture individuals and institutions who are engaged in the service of the public, particularly the weaker sections of society and women, and do this without any expectation of rewards. I would like to underline the last bit, without any expectation of rewards. This is remarkable in this day and age when everybody is carried away by crass materialism. What is indeed even more noteworthy to my mind is that the awards jury have managed to adhere to this objective when announcing the annual awards. This would not have been easy, as Justice Venkatachalaya, Chief Justice Venkatachalaya said a few minutes ago, whenever there are selections to be made, the pressures are tremendous. I myself have been associated with the national awards, the Padma Awards, and it's amazing the kind of pressures that come to bear on you and how each one produces stories which are very difficult to prove. But I'm told that this jury actually visits various places, makes on-the-spot inquiries from time to time after having shortlisted the list of them. I think it is tremendous, and I thank Mr. Venkatachalaya for this very bright spot in the whole process. And then the other members of the jury for adhering to this principle, and perhaps in some ways even more the trustees for not pressurizing the jury to alter the course of their decisions. Because I had never met Mr. Subal Chand Jain. He's a businessman and my business was national security, and the twain never met. But I had heard of Mr. Subal Chand Jain as a philanthropist. I am told now that it was his idea to institute the annual Bhagwan Mahavir Awards for excellence in human endeavor. The fields chosen were non-violence and vegetarianism, education, and medicine and social and community service. Initially, as we were just now told, there were 3 awards. Those who were selected, apart from the memento and a commendatory scroll, received 5 lakhs. The trustees have now enlarged the number to 4 and raised the cash component to rupees 10 lakhs from the erstwhile 5 lakhs. Listening to Chief Justice Venkatachalaya a few minutes ago, I was struck by what he said. I think he used the word negative social mass. In some ways, Chief Justice Venkatachalaya and I have been in the 2 sides of the same coin. He was in the business of dispensing justice. Mine was trying to identify those who were trying to break the basic rules on which our society are based. And while I think he was more optimistic, I think since I'm more closely associated with ground realities, I think we are really, as he said, at the crossroads of history. There are tremendous tensions that this nation faces. I'm not looking at the rest of the world. I'm aware that the rest of the world has perhaps even greater problems. But our own nation, I think, is plagued by a series of problems. Corruption and scams, of course, have become almost our daily bread. But far more than that, I think beneath the surface, there are tensions that are brewing. There are mezzanine forces which are operating. There are fractures in society that are present. And I think the lofty idealism of India, a 5,000-year-old civilization, is being lost because people are carried away by everyday greed. I'm concerned about the India of the future, even more than Chief Justice Venkatachalaya. I was at a seminar the other day and I asked a question. How is it that some of the greatest philosophers and physicists, mathematicians and great minds of India were there in a span of about 30 to 40 years towards the end of the 19th century and the first 20 to 30 years of the 20th century? And how is it that in the last half of the 20th century and the first decade of the 21st century, we have not seen any such great spirit emerging in a country with our civilizational heritage? Without that, I think our problems are going to be greatly compounded. And it is in this context, I think, that foundations like the Bhagwan Mahavira Foundation have a very important role to play. We need a light to show us the way. We need a group of people who are selfless in every way. And we need a lot of you who are present here today. I mean, so many of you should be present here at the awards function, and to spend your time when you have other things to do is indeed something that we should all prize. I had no hesitation when I was requested to be present here today and to give away the awards to agree, because being where I am today and where I have been so far, it's very rare to find foundations of. I once again compliment them for their farsightedness. No nation can progress or perhaps even survive without proper health care and good education. To all those who are involved in trying to improve these vital sectors without seeking recognition or any kind of support is, I think, therefore, a most worthy initiative. It again speaks very highly of the large-heartedness and the visionary approach of the Bhagwan Mahavira Foundation, that they have focused on these two critical sectors and have gone the extra mile to choose relevant organizations and bodies for conferring upon them the Bhagwan Mahavira Award. I am equally and very pleasantly surprised that the foundation and the selection jury, while choosing those to whom awards are to be given, have cast their net wide. This is, I would say, the age of parochialism. Wherever I've seen, people are carried away by their own narrow parochial tendencies. And therefore, when I see awards being going to people in or institutions in every part of the country, I think it is a miraculous event, because parochialism, I think, is very starting at basic links in our country. If consideration of caste, community, that Foundation has chosen to avoid these pitfalls and have made a choice of organizations of every kind and purely on merit is indeed once again a matter of great congratulation. The objectivity with which the selections have been made speaks volumes. If we had more organizations which did so, the profile of our country would be very different. By this one single act alone, the Bhagwan Mahavira Foundation has enhanced its credibility. Yet, I would once again like to pay a humble tribute to the selection jury, which is sanctified by the presence of as eminent a personality as Chief Justice Venkataraya, who heads the panel and who has been one of the most leading luminaries legal luminaries in our country. I would also like to add my thanks to the other members of the jury who are of equal, or I say almost equal elements, who are present here, some of them whom I've known for years. They have shown great wisdom in ensuring that the awards go to the right people, and they are lucky that the trustees have not interfered with their decisions. I'm surprised, and unlike in any of the other awards that I'm aware of, that there has been neither criticism nor controversy. And I think that itself speaks to the merit of those who have been given the awards and the, what I would say, the preferential awards. As a result, I feel doubly happy to have been asked to present the awards today. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, ours is a 5,000-year-old civilization. Our civilization is renowned for its great tradition of self-sacrifice and its many traits of which understanding and compassion are the most enduring. We have survived many problems and vicissitudes because we have from time to time produced prophets who have rescued the country whenever it faced great problems. Bhagwan Mahavira was one of those. In the same pantheon as Lord Buddha, Adi Shankara, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Swami Vivekananda, to name just a few. They showed us the way and took us out of the enveloping darkness. In recent times, we have had Gandhiji, who helped shape the rescue of our nation. As I said a couple of minutes ago, where are such men today? I hope the Bhagwan Mahavira Foundation will try to fill part of the breach, if not the whole. At the same time, no country or nation can survive unless there are lesser mortals who, though they may not have achieved the same pinnacle, are more than willing to do their bit to help humanity. These individuals have made their mission in life to serve their fellow men selflessly for the betterment of mankind. They help the deprived, the needy, the helpless, and others in various ways. They constantly give of themselves to help the less privileged. While society should be grateful to such individuals, it is seldom that they are afforded the recognition they deserve. It is in this respect that people like Sri Subalchand Jain and Bhagwan Mahavira Foundation play a stellar role. The Subal Business Group has displayed a lot of initiative in identifying and encouraging entities and individuals who work tirelessly behind the scenes, not seeking any name or fame and avoiding the limelight. The foundation is the vehicle through which the Subal Jain Business Group carries out its business of identifying lesser known but nevertheless very hardworking individuals and entities so that they may receive the recognition they deserve. I understand that since the foundation initiated the awards in 1995, it has given away 59 or 39 awards to various individuals and institutions valued at over rupees 2.15 crores. By any standard, this is a magnificent contribution, far more than the actual amount involved. It is a light that they help shine on those working in different corners of the country and let the world know of the contribution that is most noteworthy. It is especially encouraging that not merely the elders of the group, but the younger generation is as enthusiastic in pursuing this initiative. May their path be blessed. Encouragement of this kind should and could pave the way for others to imitate their example. I am sure that all of you here will join me in expressing our warmest appreciation for this grand gesture on behalf of the Subal Business Group and the Bhagwan Mahavira Foundation. I would also like to take this opportunity to pay a tribute to the Jain community as a whole and to the wider Marwari community whose ancestors may have come from Rajasthan but who are now spread across the length and breadth of India and also outside its borders. I am now in West Bengal and I see the tremendous contribution that the Marwaris and the Jains have made to the state of West Bengal. Members of the community remain in the forefront in all manner of charities and humanitarian and welfare activities. A few names get mentioned in passing, but I am well aware that thousands and thousands belonging to the community social conscience that is responsible for this, I will not say. What I do know is that every worthwhile cause has at least one or other major contributor from amongst members of the Jain and the Marwari communities. I would like, therefore, to pay a tribute to the Bhagwan Mahavira Foundation, which epitomizes this basic belief of the Jain community. I am aware that there are other foundations and organizations which are now trying to emulate the Bhagwan Mahavira Foundation. Imitation is the best form of flattery, and it would indeed be a great deal if each of the new institutions follow the strict rules laid down by the foundation and the selection jury in making their choices. It is not for nothing that the Bhagwan Mahavira Foundation has retained its primacy. It is not the cash component of the award alone, but in every way the quality of those who receive the award which has made the foundation what it is. It is generally said that those who leave a fortune behind them on their death really die poor. Those who give away their wealth to deserving causes during their sojourn on earth have done something they should be proud of. I am sure that the Subalchand Jain family will never ever be poor, but they can certainly be proud of what they have done in contributing to deserving causes during their sojourn on earth. May the Subalchand Jain family and the Bhagwan Mahavira Foundation go from strength to strength, and may we have many more awards instituted by the foundation to provide encouragement to those who work selflessly for the betterment of humanity. I congratulate the award winners and thank the sponsors who have taken the trouble to send the nominations. I recognize that there are many more who are doing similar work and probably deserve such recognition. All I would say is that the recognition award accorded to the few should encourage other entities, and maybe many of them would receive these awards in the coming years. Thank you, the trustees, for inviting me to be present here and requesting me to present these awards. I cannot take any credit, but I feel proud to be a participant and be able to express my satisfaction at a job well done by both the Bhagwan Mahavira Foundation, the jury and the winners of these awards. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request His Excellency to present a memento to Justice Venkatachalaya, Chairman Selection Jury of Bhagwan Mahavir Foundation. Now I request His Excellency to present a memento to Professor M.S. Swaminathan, Chairman, M.S. Swaminathan Research Foundation, Chennai, Member of Selection Jury. Now I request His Excellency to present a memento to Sri T.S. Krishnamurthy, Retired Election Commissioner, Chief Election Commissioner of India, Member of the Selection Jury. Thank you, sir. Now I request Shri Prasenjan Jain, Trustee of Bhagwan Mahavir Foundation, to propose the vote of thanks.
Your Excellency honored the foundation. On the happy occasion of the presentation of the awards to the awardees, I am grateful to His Excellency who is sparing his time to come all the way from Calcutta and be here with us today and present the awardees. Thank you, sir. I am also grateful to Justice Sri Venkat Chellaiah for taking the trouble for coming here from Bangalore to be with us. The member of the selection jury have also been kind enough to join us on this occasion. I am grateful to them. I am thankful to the authorities of the auditorium for providing the auditorium with all the facilities to make the function a huge success. I am also thankful to Deputy Commissioner of Police and his colleagues for keeping an eye on the function and ensuring that all of us behave properly and with decorum. Of course, the members of the media deserve our thanks for being present here to cover the function. I have also taken the opportunity to convey my warm thanks to the members of the staff of the foundation for their tireless efforts in making the successful endeavor of a long process, the evaluation of the nomination, a huge success. Thank you all. Thank you.